Hi everybody! You might remember at the beginning of the year we rolled out district-wide Remind. Since it was after the start of the school year, you may have already been using something else or had a previous Remind account, so you paid no mind to the email, and that's fine. But now you might be thinking Remind would be a great tool to use to reach out to my parents and students during EMS ISD distance learning. And if that's the case, you've come to the right place. I have resent the email for all teachers to claim their classes. If you have already completed this step, then just disregard that email, but stay tuned because I have some more helpful tips in this video. You'll definitely want to check your junk mail for this message from Remind because I'm 95% sure that's where it ended up. But if you're absolutely unable to find the email, then visit remind.com and attempt to log in using your school email address. Now, obviously, you're not going to know what password to use, so just click Forgot Password and it will allow you to reset it. It's important to note that you're going to want to claim your classes and do all these little fun setup things that I'm about to show you on a computer because you just don't have the same capability in the mobile app. But once you get it all set up, you're going to be able to use the mobile app to send messages from anywhere. Now, in the email, there'll be a link that says claim your account. If you've never used Remind, simple enough, just click the link. It'll prompt you to create a password and you'll claim your classes. If you have already used Remind before, still click claim your account, and then whenever it asks if you've used Remind before, say yes I have, and it's going to prompt you to use the existing credentials, like whatever you've been logging in with, and then it'll link your existing Remind account with the one that the school created for you. If you want to use a previously created class code, that's fine, but you're definitely going to want to get that under the EMS ISD umbrella, and that will allow you to increase the class size from 150 to unlimited participants. To do that, you just click on the class and then click the Settings tab, and under the School menu, it will likely say Not Affiliated with a School. Just click the drop-down menu and choose your school. I have a little video at the end that'll walk you through that in person. To send a message, it's really easy. You just click the blue pencil composer and then you select the class that you want to send your message to. You can select multiple classes, so if you want to send the same message to all your class periods, you can do that here before you start writing your message. You have three options. You can send a class announcement, which will go to all participants of the class. The participants can reply to a class announcement, but only the class owner who sent the message is going to see that. The other participants will not. You also have the option to set up a group conversation for you and up to 9 other participants, or you can send an individual message, which is just a private chat between you and another participant. So while sending a private text to a student is frowned upon, you can definitely use Remind and be protected if you need to reach out to a student. On the next slide, I'm going to show you a short video that's going to go through some of the best practices, like how to set your office hours, whether or not you want to allow replies, how to change your screen name. But I also wanted to remind you, remind, that even though this is a casual text messaging environment, it's important for us to remain professional in our communications because this is going out to parents and students alike. The number one way we can remain professional is to proofread everything before we send it. Especially if you're working on a small cell phone screen, you'll definitely want to scroll back up and read through everything that you just typed to make sure there's not any glaring errors or, heaven forbid, autocorrect nightmares. And here is a short video about how to
Hey
set up your
everybody,
account
here's some
settings
tips and
and
tricks
your
for
class
setting up
settings.
your Remind account settings and class settings. Let's start with account settings. When you're logged into your Remind account, go ahead and click on your name and choose account settings. Here you can change your picture, you can change your signature. It will likely default to your first and last name, but maybe you don't want your students to see your first name, so you could change it to Mr. or Mrs. And then that will be saved. Under notification preferences, you can decide how you want to receive notifications of Remind messages, either through email, through text message, your desktop notifications, or through phone calls. Down here, you also have some other options. For message options, you have to decide if you want to allow replies to your messages. If you're sending a school-wide message, then you definitely want to make sure that this is turned off. But if you're going to allow your students to reply to you, if they have questions, then you could allow replies. You can also decide if you want to receive copies of your class announcements, but you sent it and it'll be in your sent, so you don't necessarily have to do that. If you are going to allow replies, then I highly recommend that you set your office hours. This allows people to know the best time to reach you. I chose 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. just because that's a very professional time period. I don't have to worry about the late night text. It protects me because now I know that I'm not going to be responding to anybody at an off hour, and everything will look on the up and up. Now, let's take a look at some of your class settings. This is just a sample class that I set up. You see the tabs across the top here. I'm going to choose Settings. And this is the name. This is the class code that I can share out. Now, likely you are seeing something. Sorry about that. Likely you are seeing this not affiliated with the school. If this is a code that you set up yourself, you are perfectly welcome to use an existing code that you had set up before we rolled out district-wide Remind. However, if it is not currently affiliated with your school, then you're not protected under the district umbrella, and you're going to be limited to 150 participants. So to change that, all you have to do is click the down arrow and choose your school and click Save, and now it will be under the EMS ISD umbrella. You are protected and you have unlimited participants. So especially for you fine arts people, you have big band and lots of parents, this is definitely an option for you. You can have one Remind for all of your students. If it is a class that you've set up yourself, you can decide whether or not you want to approve people who request to join, and you have to decide about participant messaging. My recommendation is that you turn this off. Participants will still be able to message you, like send a reply to a message that you send out if they have a question, but this doesn't allow them to message each other because that's not something that you're going to have control over. If you want to add a class owner, for example, fine arts in the band, if you want to add all the directors, then under people, you can add people here. And then when you click on one of those people, you'll be able to change their role by clicking on the 3 dots right here, and you can make them an admin in the course, and then everybody will be able to send messages that you have made an admin in this course. So just some quick account settings and class settings. Any other questions, feel free to reach out.
Parents received a similar email at the beginning of the year, but I cannot guarantee that everyone received it or enabled it. So at this point, I would recommend sending out your class codes in a Skyward message to your parents, and you can even copy and paste this information here as some options for them to join your class.